Visual elements of organizational culture. We already said that culture is largely invisible. How do you find out about a company's culture? One way of find out about a company's culture is by observing employees or interviewing them. At the same time, culture manifests itself in some visible aspects of the organizational environment. In this section, we discuss 5 ways in which culture shows itself to observers and employees. First is a mission statement. A mission statement is a statement of purpose, describing who the company is and what it does. Many companies have mission statements, but they do not always reflect the company's values and purpose. An effective mission statement is well known by employees, is transmitted to all employees starting from their first day of work, and influences employee behavior. Second is rituals. Rituals refer to repetitive activities within an organization that have symbolic meaning. They create a sense of belonging among employees. They also serve to teach employees corporate values and create identification with the organization. For example, in many companies, employees attend annual reward functions in large auditoriums where they sing company songs that create emotional excitement. Another way in which an observer may find about a company's culture is to examine its rules and policies. Companies create rules to determine acceptable and unacceptable behavior, and thus the rules that exist in a company will signal the type of values it has. Policies about issues such as decision making, human resources, and employee private privacy reveal what the company values and emphasizes. For example, a company that extends benefits to both part time and full time employees as well as to spouses signals to employees and observers that it cares about its employees and shows concern for their well being. By offering employees flexible work hours, sabbaticals, and telecommuting opportunities, a company may communicate its employees on work life balance. The presence or absence of policies on sensitive issues such as workplace surveillance, open door policies, sexual harassment, workplace romances, and corporate social responsibility all provide pieces of the puzzle that make up a company's culture. Physical layout is the fourth way by which culture shows itself to observers and employees. A company's building, including the layout of the employee offices and other workspaces, communicates important messages about a company's culture. The building architecture may indicate the core values of an organizational culture. A company that has an open layout where high level managers interact with employees may have a culture of team orientation, whereas a company where high level managers have their own floor may indicate a higher level of hierarchy. Perhaps the most colorful and effective way in which the organizations communicate their culture to new employees and organizational members is through the skillful use of stories. A story can highlight a critical event an organization faced and the collective response to it, or can emphasize the heroic effect of a single employee illustrating the company's values. The stories usually engage employee or emotions and generate employee identification with the company or the heroes of the tale. Now, the next question is how to how to make change in the culture, or how to change the culture. Culture is a part of a company's DNA and is resistant to change efforts. Unfortunately, many organizations may not even realize that their current culture constitutes a barrier against organizational productivity and performance. Changing company culture may be the key to the company's turnaround. Then there is a mismatch when there is a mismatch between the organizational values and demands of its environment. There are 6 steps to culture change. First, create a sense of urgency. Second, change leaders and other key players. Third, role model. Fourth, train. Fifth, change the reward system. Sixth, to create new stories and symbols. First step is to create a sense of urgency and explain to the employees why changing the fundamental way in which business is done is so important. In successful culture change efforts, leaders communicate with employees and present a case for culture change as the essential element that will lead the company to eventual success. In order to implement the change effort quickly and efficiently, A company may find it helpful to remove managers and other powerful employees who are acting as a barrier to change. Because of political reasons, self interest, or habits, managers may create powerful resistance to change efforts. In such cases, replacing these positions with employees and managers giving visible support to the change effort may increase the likelihood that the change effort succeeds. Role modeling is the process by which employees modify their own beliefs and behaviors to reflect those of the leader. CEOs can model the behaviors that are expected of employees to change the culture. The ultimate goal is that these behaviors will trickle down to lower level employees. Well crafted training programs can be used for bringing about culture change by teaching employees the new norms and behavioral styles. Changing the reward system can impact the change in culture. For example, switching from a commission based incentive structure to a straight salary system may be instrumental in bringing about customer focus among sales employees. Moreover, by rewarding employees who embrace the company's new values and even promoting these employees, organizations can make sure that changes in culture have a lasting impact. If a company wants to develop a team-oriented culture where employees collaborate with each other, methods such as using individual-based incentives may backfire. Instead, distributing bonuses to entire teams might be more successful in bringing about culture change. Finally, the success of the culture change effort may be increased by developing new rituals, symbols, and stories. By replacing the old symbols and stories, the new symbols and stories will help enable the culture change and ensure that the new values are communicated. Coming to the end of this video, let us quickly recap what we discussed. We understood organizational culture as a system of shared assumptions, values, and beliefs that show employees what is appropriate and what is inappropriate behavior. We recognize its importance in improving organizational performance, as well as in controlling employee behavior. We discussed 9 dimensions of culture that can help us better understand the culture of any specific organization. We then saw how culture gets created and maintained. We also talked about visual elements of organizational culture. Finally, we looked into a 6 step process for changing the culture when the need arises for the same. Hope you enjoyed these videos. To learn more, please refer to the open textbook titled as Organizational Behavior at open.lib.umn.edu. Happy learning!